What is vibing? This is Vish, and today I will be responding to one of the best slaps of Sadhguru, an amazing reply by Sadhguru on Baba Ramdev. This video does seem like it's a snippet from some other channel, so I will be trying the conscious effort to understanding and responding to this video to the conscious ability. I'm a meditation coach and have guided hundreds of people on their meditation journeys. If you have any questions as to how to meditate or how to start, either comment down below or message me on Instagram at VishVibez. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who has had a profound impact on the spiritual journey of the self. I am truly grateful for everything that he has done and all the nuggets of wisdom that he has dropped upon this world. Baba Ramdev, I'm not too familiar with. However, I do know that he is big on yoga and has taught a lot of people across India, especially all of yoga. And so this is going to be an interesting response because I've never really seen different gurus or yogis, for example, talking about each other. It's really not much of that. And so this will definitely be an interesting video. With that, let's get right into it.
I wanted to ask you, how do you describe yourself? Do you describe yourself as a God man? Do you describe yourself as a philosopher, a guide? I mean, we have so many God men in our country, right?
I don't know where you saw them. I never saw a God man. I have seen goddamn men, but I have never seen a God man. Where did you see a God man?
So there is a gentleman who is also a yoga guru, Swami Ramdev, I think his name is.
Did he say he's a God man? He said he's a yogi.
And also very influential.
The God man was invented by you people, the journalists. Nobody ever claimed that I'm a God man, ever, as far as I know. If somebody did…
A quick interjection. I just have to point out the interesting method of how the words were even put out by the journalist as well as by Sadhguru. It really just goes to show the level of consciousness that's present on both parties. For example, with the journalist, she's just stumbling with the words, and to me it doesn't even seem like she knows what she's saying, let alone asking. Whereas Sadhguru is able to consciously capture each of those moments of her stumbling and her unconsciousness and question her back. So really interesting to see.
Then you can address him that way. I don't think anybody else, I don't think Baba Ramdev addressed himself as God man. If you are saying that, I don't know where God men are. I've never seen one.
So somebody like Baba Ramdev, who is very influential in politics, he's very close to the Prime Minister. So where do you draw the line? Do you think there should be a line that can be drawn or should be drawn between, sort of…
What makes you think the Prime Minister is so naive that he'll get influenced by anybody and everybody that he meets on stage? What makes you think? Does the man look like that? Definitely not naive.
But Patanjali is really good. I mean, Patanjali's business is now multi-crore.
We as a nation, though many of you are still maybe little hangover of socialism, all right?
Not sure what that means.
We have chosen market economy. Once we have chosen market economy, we must understand the success of the nation depends on the success of the businesses that run in this nation. Baba Ramdev started on a hired bicycle with a hired vessel selling 15-20 kilograms of Kabarkash, house to house. Today it's a $2 billion company. Rags to riches, but still he stays in rags. I think it's a classic example for this nation. I don't see why anybody should be upset about that. Why are we against success? If there's something illegal, please punish. If things are going right, if business is successful, why should we worry about it? I don't know, I have not used any of the products, but people vouch by their toothpaste.
Wow, that was an amazing video and truly an amazing response by Sadhguru. First off, I want to talk about what response means. It goes back to what Sadhguru talks about and refers to, and it's the idea of responsibility. If you literally look at the word responsibility and you break it down, it's response-ability. The ability to respond. So the reason the self is emphasizing that part of the word is because once we understand the word at its true core and its nature, we come to the realization, as Sadhguru says, that we are all responsible for the universe, because we, whether we like it or not, will respond, whether it's unconscious or conscious, to the outside. Let's just say something happens to some person in a country that's thousands of miles away, but it comes on the news. And then you turn on the news and you see that. You might empathize, you might have sympathy, but then if I were to ask you if you're responsible for that person's whatever, you would say no. Why would I be responsible? It's someone that's thousands of miles away. But no, the reality is we are all one. We are all connected. On top of all of that, whether we like it or not, the feeling of empathy, the feeling of sadness, the feeling of grief, the feeling of happiness, the feeling of joy, the feeling of anything that happens when we see the TV, for example, of something happening to someone, whether it's quote-unquote good or quote-unquote bad, the emotion itself is the response. Now it comes down to, are we going to be taking action with regards to helping that person out or celebrating with that person, again, whatever the news is. So it is all our responsibility to be responsible for not just us, but for the entire universe. Because whether we like it or not, the response is going to be there. The question is it going to be a conscious response or an unconscious response? And that is left to you. The reason I bring up that point is because of the idea that a lot of people have about politics. People think that they're not responsible for the election, that they don't have any say. What their vote is, again, regardless of what party you vote for, doesn't matter. But the reality is, every vote does matter, and we are all responsible. And that was just a connection to when she brought up politics, and she was talking about how the Prime Minister of India could get influenced by the Baba Ramdev. What's important to understand from that question itself, which was kind of unconscious in nature, is the idea that a lot of the times people that are very anti-dogmatic tend to also be as close-minded as people that are completely dogmatic as well. Now, I do want to preface by saying that people that have no beliefs, or atheists for example, can be very open-minded, and they can also be equally as closed-minded. The same thing can apply to people that are religious, whether they're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever religion they follow. There are very open-minded individuals in these religions, and there are also very closed-minded individuals. Just by following that religion, or even just being atheist, doesn't mean that you are closed-minded or open-minded. This is important to understand because a lot of the journalists today tend to be very focused on logic, facts. A lot of the times the news is sensationalized and gets exaggerated and very much stretched from the truth. So a lot of the facts itself that are being presented are not even truthful. They might be facts but not truthful because they don't represent the original fact. And so a lot of the times people that are journalists who tend to be, let's say, very logical in nature, logic is a beautiful thing, however, it can also be limiting. A lot of the times when people are purely focused on the logic, anytime they don't understand something, they quickly dismiss as not possible. And that is a very fundamental problem. It is important to sometimes just say that I don't know something. There's nothing wrong with saying that I don't know. Saying that I don't know will open all the possibilities to what the truth is at the end. Making assumptions, whether it's a belief or a disbelief, as in, no way that's not possible, or that's completely possible, without having any proof or evidence or experience, and just quickly dismissing or making a leap of faith into anything will very simply blind you from the reality. And this is emphasized with the way the journalist was asking the question about the God-man. I mean, according to Sadhguru, and I can't speak for the other gurus out there, to me it seems kind of clear that a lot of the gurus don't even call themselves God-men and consider themselves holy. That is why I extremely am very appreciative for Sadhguru. Sadhguru itself translates to uneducated guru, and he has a whole very interesting perspective as to why he calls him that. However, one way to take that is the humbling nature of him. He does not consider himself a super smart, holy man that's the man of God. No, he just very simply calls himself an uneducated guru. That is a very humble thing. And also have to point out how I love the way he was making kind of jokes with the questions. I truly love the way Sadhguru responds to these questions, and sometimes adds in a bit of humor. It's really very funny. Also, I do have to acknowledge the amazing way that Sadhguru was able to support Baba Ramdev. I don't know if they've met before, I'm not even sure if they're friends, but just supporting another individual who's also on this mission to help people is truly a beautiful thing to see. It's the people that try to divide people that lead to the more unconscious world. It is important that we're all united and that we stand together as one, because at the end, we are all one. Thank you so much for watching this response to the video. Take it joyfully, make it a great day, and stay conscious.